Hey everyone, I am Damian Holbrook from TV Guide Magazine and TV Insider, and I'm talking with Joe Mantegna, who is back with Criminal Minds Evolution on Paramount Plus.
All my years as a profiler, I studied killers, but I never studied what a pandemic would do to them.
Joe, welcome back. Did you ever think that you were going to go back to the office?
Well, there was really no indication at the time when we ended. In other words, there was no promises. There was no like, oh yeah, good chance we'll see you in a while. So, no. But I've been in this business long enough to know anything's possible, and sometimes things happen for a reason. And I think this was a good enough reason, and so here we are.
So, the show that ran for 15 seasons, it came up basically, it grew up into an era of streaming. So, all of a sudden, you guys bringing this back in on a streaming platform, did you find that it gave you guys a little bit more room to really dig into this case?
Yeah, without question, it's done that. I mean, we were pretty much for the most part, we were pretty much a one-off show in the sense that each episode was self-contained and it dealt with that. Once in a while, we'd do an arc of stories. Sometimes we'd bring characters back and revisit storylines. But this gives us a chance to really go in depth on one particular story while still maintaining a different variety within each episode that is true unto itself. And then also just the playing field is bigger and open. I mean, we don't have some of the restrictions that you have on network TV. So therefore, I would think some of the fans will understand that, okay, if Rossi's going to be the one to step over the line and push the envelope in terms of language and things like that, that makes sense.
Yeah. And
I would be the one for that.
when he comes back, he's in a pretty dark place. I mean, this show was always in a dark place, but now to see Rossi in a dark place,
Yeah.
it's that's upsetting.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty dark place indeed. And I mean, I think it was funny. They dropped the trailer today, and I was looking at the trailer, and I thought, oh yeah, they even the way I look in the trailers are even like, oh wow, that's not the Rossi we remember. But all I can tell you is, give it a little time.
Yeah.
Dave's got stuff to do and people to see and places to go. So we'll see what happens.
And he really is the one who kind of realizes we've got to get this band back together. But he's not exactly enticing everybody the way we meet him when we come back.
No. I mean, it's funny. I have a history of that with this character. When I first came in, which is now 15 years ago, I came in with a little attitude and and I had even suggested that when I first met with Ed Bonero, our first showrunner, and when I was first joining the show, my attitude was, I said, look, I've watched these episodes of your show, and I think it's really, your ensemble is tremendous. I says, I don't necessarily need to be the guy to lead the parade here. I says, I think of myself more as Dr. Smith in Lost in Space. I mean, he's the maybe the older curmudgeon kind of guy that kind of mixes it up once in a while. And I think when they brought my character in, there was a little of that. And I mean, early on, it was like, who is this guy and why is he giving them such a problem? And I kind of had to earn the respect and and let the fans hopefully embrace that character, which hopefully they have over the years.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, when you end the story or the original story in his backyard, and that is one of the most important sets to the fans is like this backyard of his. I will say, when we first see him in these first two episodes, especially, it's like, all right, he needs this team really to carry him through this point.
Right, exactly right. And I mean, and it mirrors what many of us have even felt, especially in the last couple of years, just in general. It's been a strange time for the planet. And I think no different for those of us with the BAU.
Even though the content is pretty dark and grim, it's so clear that this cast has so much fun together. Like
Without
it
question.
bleeds through, like the fun is there on screen.
Yeah, and I think that's very important. I mean, I mean, it's wonderful it's worked out that way, but it's also a survival technique among people who are just in that line of work, even for real. I mean, I've met with, in the course of my career, I've played, homicide detectives and people who have some kind of grim occupations. And very often when you do your research, you find that they have to have that element of like, even if it's a macabre kind of humor, lighten things up when they need to.
Well, listen, thank you so much, everyone. Do not miss Criminal Minds Evolution on Paramount Plus. It is good. Literally, a minute or two into the first episode, there's a jump scare. There's one of the craziest kills something I would never even imagine in the second episode. It's everything I think fans will want, and Joe, you're great in it, so thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for your
Great
time.
talking to you.